Welcome to Shooby Dooby Doo-Up, a podcast where we talk about pop music, specifically by deep diving a randomly chosen UK top 10 singles chart from the past. Wake up, kids, we got the dreamer's disease. I wish I could freeze this space in time. We got a lot of electricity. The moon and the stars are all in line. I'm James Cook.
I'm Andy Robinson.
Always talking about what he wants and just sits on his broke ass.
That is true, James. I also recognise some of those lyrics because they're from this week's top 10, which was randomly chosen. Which week we're looking at, James?
We're going to the top 10 from the 23rd of April, 1999. Today we're going to podcast like it's 1999, Andy.
Yeah, in the top 40 around this time were other records, of course. That's very much how it works, like Tender by Blur, As by George Michael and Mary J. Blige, Strung by Robbie Williams, Tragedy by Steps, It's Not Right But It's Okay by Whitney, and We Like to Party by the Venga Boys.
As everyone was getting ready for the big millennium, which was happening at the end of the year, and how that was going to change everything.
That's right, I remember.
And to this day, people complain, going, oh, everyone was going on about the millennium bug, and then nothing happened. And that's because loads of people, including my dad, worked loads to prevent any of those problems from happening in advance.
Well, as a podcaster, James, I don't like to criticise other people's futile behaviour that earns them very little money. Hey, thank you very much for listening. In the news around this time, James, just to put it in a context, the minimum wage of £3.60 or £3 for the under-21s had just been introduced, and the last colliery horse to work in a coal mine was just retired, so all that was happening.
Do you think the horse retired because they couldn't afford to give it the minimum wage?
In pop music news, a lot was happening. Linda McCartney just had a tribute concert featuring Chrissie Hynde, Elvis Costello, Sinead O'Connor, and one other person, James. Who do you think that might be? I like to mention him every week.
Would it be Paul McCartney by any chance?
That Paul from the Beatles. Also, the Verve are about to split up for the second time, so that's happening.
A month before this chart, Bewitched became the first artist in UK chart history to go to number one with their first 4 singles.
That's right, they're lurking around in the top 40 with Blame It on the Weatherman around this time.
2 weeks before, Mamma Mia opened in the West End. And by the end of the year, the first major artist to release an album as a legal download would happen. Do you know who did that and what album?
No, please tell me.
It was David Bowie with his album Hours. So things are changing in the music world.
Ahead of his time, we give much respect to the Thin White Duke. In fact, we don't, apart from mispronouncing his name, it's Bowie, yeah? I don't mind Bowie or Bowie, We're all good.
The number one album at this time was Equally Cursed and Blessed by...
yeah, that rings a bell. Who was it?
Catatonia.
Good old Catatonia.
But the number one album last week and next week is ABBA Gold, an album that has spent 23 and a half years in the top 100.
Well done, ABBA. What were you doing around this time of the 23rd of April 1999 when everything was fine?
I was in my very, very early 20s. I just moved back in with my mum and dad, having spent 3 months in London trying to make a go of it, and it didn't work.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had my tail very firmly between my legs at this point.
I get you. I was doing stand-up gigs and warm-up shows for Jonathan Ross, and I think it's all over. But more importantly, I bought 10% of these charts, James. What about you?
I had 0%. But I've got some stats about the chart.
I would love some stats from the 23rd of April 1999.
Surprisingly, there are only 2 UK number ones in this top 10. I say surprisingly because there were 36 different number ones in 1999, but it was very much the era where songs would go in at their highest level and then drop out again. There are 3 songs going up, 3 songs going down, 2 non-movers, and 2 new entries for a total net movement of -3. There are 5 British artists, 3 American, 1 Danish, 1 French and 1 Irish, 2 cover versions, 1 medley, and a sort of mashup thing.
That's right, great 1999 stats by my reckoning. There are 3 songs about the complexities of love, 1 record that's an instrumental, 2 songs of encouragement, 1 song of rejection if you're a scrub, 1 song of self-hatred and aggrandizement, 1 medley of songs by 1970s hitmakers, yeah? And coming up the rear, there's 1 song about a shaman or a healer created by a spiritual possession. Slightly disappointingly, there is only 1 key change and 2 songs of self-reference, but if you listen to these charts and you count referring to other pop stars as a reference, there's 4 of them.
And you can listen to the songs in the playlist that we have put in the description. The links are there to Spotify and to YouTube.
Please listen to the music we have put in the playlist. Not only does it make what me and James are going on about more clear, it's also a fantastic top 10.
And there are another half a dozen songs on those playlists that are in the top 100 on the 23rd of April 1999. And we're going to get into them in our special bonus tracks podcast that we do for our beloved Patreon backers, the people who very kindly donate some money every month to help this podcast keep going.
Thank you.
Including some soap stars, but not the ones you think, some American college rock, late-era Britpop, and a song from one of the biggest films of the year. You can join our Patreon community for free. The Bonus Tracks podcast costs less than £1 a week.
And because we've learned from other podcasters what they do and we slavishly follow them, please rate, subscribe, share, follow, all that kind of beautiful stuff. We mentioned that at the beginning, James. I've heard other people do it.
Might as well. Give us a review, guys. That would be appreciated. And we're going to launch headlong into this chart from 1999, Ting Tang Walla Walla Bing Bang.
I knew you were going to do that one. I did.
Number 10.
Down one to number 10, having peaked at number 5. It's You Get What You Give by the New Radicals.
You get what you give by the New Radicals. What a marvellous start to this week's top 10, James.
And a song that is played on the radio all the time, even now, 27 years later.
Yep, it's a perennial, that's for sure.
I really would love to have written that.
Your words?
Not my words, the words of The Edge from U2. Apparently he's a big fan of it.
Because we've been looking at the computer, James, of people around, there's loads of facts coming up, isn't it? It's not all about our nonsense, is it? But I saw Ice-T on some chat show saying, I love that song, who'd have thought it, White Boys, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, seems to be a winner.
Co-written by Greg Alexander, he's the singer in the New Radicals. He'd signed his first record deal at age of 19, but his first 2 albums were completely ignored by everyone. In 1997, he forms the New Radicals with former child star Danielle Brisebois.
What? Former child star?
Yes, Danielle Brisebois. It's her voice singing Hard Knock Life in Annie.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, the sample that's on the Jay-Z track, that's her singing that. She'd also appear in the American version of Till Death Us Do Part, All in the Family. And the band was basically Greg Alexander, Danielle Brisebois, and a rotating cast of session musicians on this recording, including Rusty Anderson.
The guitarist with Paul McCartney's current band.
Yeah, I thought you'd get excited about that. Also Rick Knowles, who would co-write Heaven is a Place on Earth and Circle in the Sand.
Belinda Carlisle.
White Flag.
Dido.
And I Turn to You.
I don't know who sang that one.
Mel C.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. All right.
Greg Alexander said, "This is a song about remembering to fly high and be completely off your head in a world where you can't control all the elements."
Do you think?
That's what he said. And it's got that kind of defiance, hasn't it? It's about, come on, kids, we've got the music in us.
I see this very much, this fantastic record, as a song of two halves, yeah? Mm-hmm. The chorus, which we'll get into shortly, is all about, don't give up, you've got the music in you, all this beautiful stuff. But the verses and the outro, James, I believe to be a critique of capitalism.
Particularly the last bit, which is the bit everyone kind of talks about, isn't it?
Let's do it unconventionally, James. We'll talk about the outro first, but that's all right. Hey, that's the kind of crazy guys we are, yeah? It's in the key of D, but he's going, health insurance, rip-off lying, FDA, big bankers buying, yeah? Mm-hmm. Go on, you do
Fake
something.
computer crashes dining, cloning while they're multiplying. Right, and so that's kind of all about, you know, the state of the world, isn't it? And so much of that is still true now.
Yeah.
And then he gets a little bit personal, doesn't he, about some pop stars.
This is a part of the 4 records that mention other pop stars I alluded to in the intro. Do it. Who's he on about?
Fashion shoots with Beckham Hansen, Courtney Love and Marilyn Manson. You're all fakes, run to your mansions, come around, we'll kick your ass in.
I liked it.
I always felt like, you know, when he starts going on about, you know, health insurance rip-offs, big bankers, I'm going, yeah, that's right. And then he goes, yeah, and Beck as well. He's
Beck.
part of it. And you go, is he though? I mean, these are very successful musicians and they've made money, but I feel like you're targeting the wrong people to kick their asses in there.
Yes, he's employing a scattergun approach. I mean, the verses, well, I've got the guitar in my hand as well, James. Beautiful, aren't they? He's going sort of over. That kind of chordal backing. There's a lot more going in. Hey, what's the best bit of this record, James, while we're here?
Give it to me now.
You got it. Give it to me now. But he's going, wake up, kids. We got the dreamer's disease. Age 14, they got you down on your knees, immediately finger pointing, isn't he?
Yeah,
Who are they?
Who are they? Is it Beck and Hanson?
We've got frenemies, who when you're down at your friend, every night we smash a Mercedes Benz, all that kind of stuff.
I believe that's the first use of the word frenemies in a pop song.
Okay, email us into shoobypodcast@gmail.com if you disagree. So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? 4 a.m. we ran a miracle mile, we're flat broke, but hey, we do it in style. The bad rich God's flying in for your trial. So, and then, as you say, often the chorus is, if you're being cynical, which we're not because it's a beautiful song, a sign a middle-aged lady would hang up in their kitchen. That's a terribly sexist thing to say, I'm being silly. But, you got the music in you. Don't let go, you got the music in you. The world is going to pull through, don't give up, all that kind of thing. Very heartwarming.
Marilyn Manson said, I'm not mad he said he'd kick my ass. I just don't want to be used in the same sentence as Courtney Love.
I think these days Marilyn Manson would be pleased to be mentioned with anybody.
Beck said that he bumped into Greg Alexander in a supermarket and Greg Alexander personally apologised using him. And Greg Alexander would later go on to work with Hanson.
By 7505 says, this man has probably saved so many lives with the lyric, you have a reason to live, brings me to tears every time I hear it.
Yeah, you hear it on the radio all the time and it's just there and on and you don't think so much about it. But yeah, that line is there and it will mean something to someone.
And we all have the dreamer's disease, don't we?
Shingles. I think it's rising from the swamp of muck music like a flower of hope.
Those sound very much like your words.
No, they're not my words. They're the words of Joni Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, who actually inspired the song.
Oh, man, that'd be a thrill for Greg, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Greg Alexander had a dream where he heard Joni Mitchell playing this song, and that's kind of what started it. In 1998, when it first came out in America, he said, I enjoy watching it climb up the charts. I'm ready to be carted around like a piece of meat. You have to cut a deal with the machine and be thrown to the wolves. Yeah, it turns out that wasn't true, because the band disbands in July 1999, because he said he didn't like it.
One-hit wonders?
Yeah, well...
Ish. Kind of, sort of.
Their follow-up single gets the number 48. Yeah. Does that mean he's not a one-hit wonder? Oh, I should say they. And anyway, they probably can't be considered one-hit wonders because Greg Alexander and Danielle Brisbois go on to write loads of hits, including Inner Smile.
Can't remember.
Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Life is a Roller Coaster.
Ronan Keating.
And Lovin' Each Day.
Yeah.
Murder on the Dance Floor.
Sophie Ellis-Bextor.
Unwritten.
What's her name? Bedingfield.
Yeah, Natasha Bedingfield.
My apologies, Natasha.
And they were Oscar nominated for the song Lost Stars from the movie Begin Again, IMDb rating 7.4.
I'm glad you've mentioned Life is a Roller Coaster in the midst of all this, because it's a similar sounding record by Ronan Keating-ish, isn't it?
When you hear, Greg Alexander co-wrote that, that makes a lot of sense.
Also, while I was flicking around, I heard a demo version on YouTube of Greg Alexander singing Life is a Roller Coaster, which I'll give you a little nudge towards, because it's beautiful. 2METD on YouTube says one-hit wonders were just artists that refused to sell their souls to the industry.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he didn't want to. He didn't want to do the tours and the press tour and the hard work of flogging the record. That's why he stopped doing it.
He liked anonymity, which is why he always wore that bucket hat, isn't he? That was my memory of him, James. I thought I never really saw his face. Did you watch the video?
Yes, they're in a shopping mall.
He rips his hat off straight away, so I did see his face. The shopping mall, as I learned from YouTube, is actually Staten Island Mall. So these are the facts we're chucking in.
So, hey, we could go. You could go and look around and see all the places from the You Get What You Give video.
I mean, again, the video would suggest this anti-capitalism thing is there, isn't it? There's some people who may look like capitalists because they're middle-aged and wear a suit and they're well-dressed, and all these kids come marauding out the mall and chuck them in cages and release all the dogs, and it's an organised chaos for a short while, yeah?
Yeah, it speaks of a future that never was. Why did the New Radicals reform in 2021?
I don't know.
It was for Joe Biden's inauguration ball.
That's right. I watched that video as well. Did you see that one?
I haven't seen it. Did they do a good job?
Well, for a start, they get rid of the Courtney Love and Marilyn bit, which I think is daft, but maybe he feels he couldn't. But it does a great job. It's nice to see an old Greg Alexander with his bucket hat, dressed like he was in 1999. Great voice he's got as well, full of character, full of conviction. I was digging it. Yeah,
but yeah, it's great, isn't it? And it is very evocative of that era. That kind of going into the millennium with hope, but also what the hell's going on in the world.
Lachlan Keddy says, this song has so much late 90s energy, it just installed Windows 98 on my laptop.
Number 9.
It's a new entry at number 9. It's Love of a Lifetime by Honeys.
Honeys with a Z.
With a Z.
Because they're cool. The intro, there was a bit of it that sounded a bit like Kaylee by Marillion. And I started thinking, God, I'm such an old man, aren't I? Yeah. That I hear this song by an R&B girl group and go, it sounds a bit like Marillion. Oh, for God's sake, James, grow up.
I was unimpressed with this song, and yet I tried to work it out on the guitar this week. I'll give it that. It's mysterious. I couldn't quite get my head around it. Maybe that's the reason that I don't like it, because it's slightly more sophisticated.
Yeah,
or boring, if you want to call it that.
Well, you know, it's an R&B ballad, isn't it?
Yeah, but, you know, that's all right. I love loads of them.
It's fine.
Go on. Who wrote it? Shall we go around and get them?
Let's go and kick their asses. No, Sylvia Bennett Smith and Lainey Stewart, who also wrote for Destiny's Child, Jamelia Louise, among others. It was produced by Steve Levine.
I recognise that name.
Yeah, producer of Culture Club. It was their third of 5 UK top 10 hits. What do you know of Honeys?
Absolutely nothing, except on the video, which I watched, and looking at the YouTube comments, they seem to say there was some personnel change around the time of this record.
Oh my God. Yes, the personnel changes in Honeys. It's quite a complex story.
I had a feeling you were going to get into this. Please tell me.
So Honeys were lead singer Selena Cherry.
Yes.
She'd go on to appear on Hollyoaks and Doctors and audition with her husband on Britain's Got Talent in 2018.
Did she?
And do showbiz gossip for GB News.
Did she?
Yeah.
Wow.
French-born Naima Belkhiati and Heavenly Abdi. Heavenly would leave the group after the video shoot to spend more time with her then-boyfriend, Matthew Marsden.
Matthew Marsden?
Yes.
We've talked of him before.
Yep.
Hey, what's our favourite fact about Matthew Marsden?
His cover version of She's Gone features on backing vocals
Destiny's Child.
Yep.
Matthew Marsden, if he's got Destiny's Child and he's got the Honeys, I'm going to say he's got
something going on.
We didn't even mention he was in Coronation Street. That's how overawed we were with Matthew Marsden's Destiny Child connection.
Mariama Goodman joins the group and sort of is unveiled on an episode of Live and Kicking on the 10th of April, so more or less 2 weeks before this chart. But in September the following year, she'd fall out with Belkhiati and leave the group, being replaced by Heavenly Abdi, who comes back, and she's unveiled on an episode of SMTV Live.
So Heavenly left and then came back like a football player might.
Heavenly goes, is replaced by Mariama.
Yeah.
And then she goes and is replaced back by Heavenly.
If you watch the video, people are saying it's a shame Heavenly left and then the label had to cut her basically as much out the videos as possible.
So their next 2 singles after that don't break the top 20. So by 2003, they split, only to reform in 2005 for the TV show Hit Me Baby One More Time, after which Belkhiati quits the group and is replaced by Cherry's sister, Candice.
Right.
Okay, so are you with me so far? So at this point, it's Cherry, her sister Candice, and Heavenly. So they tour in 2006. Abdi quits and is replaced by Mariama Goodman. So they swap again.
Wow.
Yeah. They keep touring until 2010 when they go, that's it, we're splitting. In 2013,
There they are.
a brand new configuration, Selena Cherry, Heavenly Abdi, and Mariama Goodman, who is now a trained midwife and have never actually been in the group at the same time before, they form for the ITV2 show The Big Reunion, which leads to more touring and new material. But in July 2014, Abdi leaves again.
And does she replace herself eventually?
No, they don't replace her. Cherry and Goodman continue as a duo. Yeah. In 2022, as a duo, they appeared on Celebrity Coach Trip, Pointless Celebrities, and in 2023, Heavenly Abdi rejoins the group. And in October 2024, Mariama Goodman leaves and is replaced by Candice Cherry.
This is an amazing story, isn't it?
It is. There's basically a squad system to the Honeys. Basically, that's what it is. It's like a five-a-side team. It's just like when you get tired, just tap out and someone else will come on.
Interesting. Did you like this record this week?
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's all right.
Tintin HX7 says, I love this song. It's in my top 10 of all time.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
You know, so it's going to be someone's favourite, isn't it?
Is it time to mention Nile Rodgers, James? I think it is. The famous quote being, Nile Rodgers said, if you don't like a record that's in the top 10, it doesn't really matter because loads of other people did. We have to acknowledge that once a week, don't we?
Yeah, particularly with it's a song that we're not particularly fussed about.
Yeah, my apologies, Honeys. It's number 9, so as Niall points out, great record, really. We've had our honeys talking about a lifetime, haven't we?
Yeah.
And maybe this recording's gone on a lifetime, by the way you responded to that, James. Shall we have some other quotes from pop stars about what a lifetime consists of?
Go on then.
This isn't a pop star as such, but he worked within the pop industry.
Okay.
Yeah?
Pop star adjacent.
In my lifetime, I've discovered a great many incredibly talented individuals. Some have achieved stardom simultaneously. I've seen many dreams shattered, egos destroyed, and lives changed forever. The end destination may well be fame and fortune, but the road to stardom is littered with broken hearts. He says, in my lifetime at the beginning, that's the reason for the length of that
Is it
quote.
Simon Cowell?
No, another one. I think you've had an experience with him, James, from previous podcasts, yeah? He chatted you up, you claimed.
What?
You claimed he tried to chat you up when you appeared on Jonathan Ross's Big Talent
No,
Show.
I didn't.
What was it?
No, he didn't. No, he came over and he said, well done. That was it. That's not a chatting up. That was just a compliment.
Who was it?
Nigel Lithgow.
Or maybe we were in the mood at that time. I thought something darker had gone on. This isn't a pop star again, as per se, but he had records in the charts, James, so he is a pop star. Poets are supposed to be underappreciated, don't you know? There is always a strange reaction to those who become successful in their own lifetime, and I always felt so lucky that I made a living out of it.
So he's a poet who's had pop hits.
Yeah.
Roger McGough. He was in The Scaffold, wasn't
No, he was more punky than that.
he? Oh, John Cooper Clarke.
You got it. I'm going to give you 250,000 pop points because I don't think you earned that on your own. All right, then, this is a big clue in this one. Which pop star said Sri Lanka is an island off the coast of India?
I think that might be an atlas
There's
you're reading
two
there.
ethnicities there. One, the Sinhalese, which is the majority of the government, and the minority, who are the Tamils. That's where I'm from. And my lifetime sort of began there. And then she goes on to talk more and more. I'll give you a clue by saying she.
Okay. So
You have to know she's
got Tamil.
Tamil Motown.
Who's from Sri Lanka? I feel like we've mentioned a pop star from Sri Lanka in the
She duetted with Madonna once. I'm giving you the pop facts I know about her. She gave the middle finger to a camera, I think, on the Super Bowl and caused a big chain reaction. MIA.
past. Oh, is it MIA?
You got it.
I got it after you told me who it was.
We've covered this fella before. My lifetime role model and hero is Freddie Mercury of Queen. His songwriting skills I cannot even approach, but his showmanship, I learned it from videos. Yeah, tricky. I don't think you would necessarily think it's been massively influenced by Freddie Mercury.
All right. So it's someone unexpected.
He's got a certain style.
Okay. Is it Chesney Hawkes?
The stylish Chesney Hawkes.
Yeah.
It's Psy Gangnam.
Oh, okay. See, if you'd have done it in the original Korean, I would have got that.
And this is a kind of pop star, although, let's say at the beginning, James, she was certainly influenced by the Sound of Music.
Is it Anne Frank?
No.
It's usually Anne Frank with
James, why would you say that?
Yeah.
Why would you say such a thing? Who said, I've made my pact with the Lord for the next lifetime. I would love to be a first-class musician, a super one.
you. Julie Andrews.
Woo, hoo, hoo. 500,000 pop.
What does it mean to live a rich life? It means brave first leaps, tearful goodbyes, and everything in between. With over 100 years' experience navigating the ups and downs of the market and of life, your Edward Jones financial advisor will be there to help you move ahead with confidence. Because with all you've done to find your rich, we'll do all we can to help you keep enjoying it. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Number 8.
Down 6 places to number 8. It's a former number 1. It's Flat Beat by Mr. Wazzo.
That's right.
The 9th biggest selling single in the UK of the year and would sell 3 million copies worldwide.
Blimey O'Reilly. You would not expect that, would you?
Well, should we talk about why it was such a hit?
Let's try and describe the record first, James.
It's a very repetitive bit of EDM.
Or Electro House, I heard it described in YouTube comments. I don't know.
And I'll say this for it, it's quite short. So had it been twice the length, and I'm sure there are mixes of it that go on a while, I think it would start to get a bit more annoying than it is. Are you going to play this on the guitar?
Let me demonstrate as much as I can acoustically what it is.
Okay. So, Unplugged, Mr. Wazzo.
Remember, we both said in the intro to this podcast, nip over to Spotify. Yeah? But for the sake, it essentially goes... over a beat. That's the spirit of it, James. For 3.5 minutes.
But people bought it because it's from a Levi's ad.
Did you watch video?
Well, the video and the advert are different.
Yeah.
So in the advert, it's all about this puppet called Flat Eric.
I'd forgotten all about Flat Eric, could you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's driving around in a car, sort of headbanging.
We remembered Crazy Frog and other cartoons. Hey, there's cartoons characters coming up very shortly, spoiler. But we've remembered other characters. Flat Eric slipped my mind, James.
Flat Eric was built by Jim Henson's Creature Shop and performed by actual Muppeteer Drew Massey.
There they are. Yeah. You get one in.
Yeah. We should say Mr. Wazzo is Quentin Dupieux, who looks a lot like Joe Wilkinson.
Yes, seemingly. Project Lost on YouTube says, hold the wine and cheese. This is France's greatest export.
He'd go on to direct surreal movies, including Rubber, IMDb rating 5.7, about a killer car tyre.
That's right. Loads of people going about Rubber and how good it was. That's good that a DJ makes a filmmaker, isn't it?
Wrong Cops, IMDb rating 6, about futuristic corrupt police officers who have to dispose of a body that features a cameo by Marilyn Manson.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Second reference to Marilyn Manson so far this week. And the film Smoking Causes Coughing, IMDb rating 6.4, about some superheroes who have to go on a retreat. And most recently, The Piano Accident.
What's that?
I don't know. I'm not watching them.
Did you like this record this week?
I mean, I suppose if you're in Da Club and it comes on and you've been having a lovely time and you've been partaking of a
certain kind of biscuit.
Of the ambience.
Yeah,
I think you'd have a great time listening to it, but, it's not for me. Watching the video
Go on.
made me like it more. I think there's a bit more personality in the video than the
Describe
advert.
the video. You can always nip over to playlist, but here we are.
Yeah, so Flat Eric is like behind a desk in a big office.
Yes.
And he's having a bit of a headbang to the track. And he's like acting like an old boss and everything. At one point, he starts smoking a hot dog.
That's right. Tango Mike says this was back in the day before they knew the danger of smoking Frankfurters.
It's the 7th Levi ad song to be a UK number one.
Yeah.
And the 25th instrumental to be a UK number one.
Okay.
Quentin Dupieux said this song was written in about 2 hours on a Korg MS-20. And I want to know what he did with the other hour and 55 minutes.
BMO Fano says this is the equivalent of a Michelin-starred dish. All elements are clearly distinguishable and it all flows beautifully together. Whilst Digest Music says, I made my mum listen to this and she told me it sounds like a stressful day at the office.
Yeah, it depends what mood you're in, I think. It's not the kind of song you'd put on to relax. Let's say that much. I mean, is it even a song?
It's an instrumental. I don't classify them as songs because I'm stupid. Ember Vi says, every time I want to find this video, I type in yellow toy cat smoked sausage and it always works. So if you...
Is Flat Eric a cat?
No? What is Flat Eric?
What animal is Flat Eric? Is it like a monkey type thing? I don't know.
His behaviour in the office in the video reminded me of me in this flat during lockdown.
Were you smoking a lot of hot dogs?
A lot of Frankfurters were being rolled up.
Well, you mentioned him being in an office. There was, of course, another office that he showed up in, wasn't there?
Hmm?
He's in the first episode of The Office,
that's
the
right.
UK version. Obviously not as a character, but a stuffed Flat Eric.
And it's insight into David Brent's character that he finds it hilarious, isn't it?
He just kind of points it and goes, "Here, look," like that, in that kind of way that sometimes people in an office do. They point at a thing and go, "Look, reference."
Yeah, all right. A bit like when he mentioned the list of comedy greats and John Sessions was in the mix, isn't it? All right, then. That makes more sense about Flat Eric now.
Yeah, he was like a craze, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You could buy Flat Erics.
Yeah.
Of course, you might as well cash in on the merch while you can.
Stormcat says, remember when you actually had to call your friends and say, check out this song, and you held up the phone to the speaker? Good times, man. Would you appreciate Stormcat playing this down the phone right into your ear hole?
And I'd be like, who are you? Why are you doing this? Unless, of course, he started with, hey, Chuck, it's me, your cousin, Marvin Berry, in which case you can play what you like down the phone to me, because I like a Back to the Future reference.
Let's hope that's the last we hear about a stupid cartoon character.
Number 7.
Down 1 to number 7, although it has peaked at number 2, Witch Doctor by Cartoons. Or The Cartoons, or just Cartoons?
I think it's The Cartoons. Witch Doctor?
That Doctor, first of all, it is more some stupid cartoon characters. We should describe who sings it first, shouldn't we?
Yeah, so I watched the video,
And me.
I thought there'd be something in the video that would appeal to you specifically, which is the two young women dressed as sexy Elvis.
As Ben Capel on YouTube says, those Elvis ladies sure unlocked something out of me. Yeah, sexy Elvis is.
How did that make you feel?
It made me feel weird in my tummy, and I liked it.
Because you like Elvis, and you have done since you were a kid.
Do you know, James, we're stand-up comedians, aren't we? Once upon a time, I did a joke about how I'd like to date Heather McCartney or Stella McCartney because it would remind me of knobbing Paul McCartney, essentially. It never worked, this joke. In fact, I don't know why I mentioned it here. But yeah, there's sexy Elvis women. I liked it. Yeah. Also, as Monica Ledgart378 says about the video, the spaceship looks like a giant tampon. So there's that.
Yes, it does. So the cartoons, they're all in a spaceship and they're flying around for some reason. And the blokes in the cartoons have all got massive quiffs. Made out of different materials.
Yeah, we should mention Elvis more because he turns up at the end of this rocky ride, doesn't he? And thanks all the ladies. Says, "Here we go, baby, hunker, hunker. I love you. I always have. I always will." What's that quote from? It's not an Elvis quote directly. It's from a movie. IMDb rating, I don't know.
Because
Elvis appears to somebody in a film and he goes, "I love you. Always have. Always will." That's Elvis never said it, but someone playing Elvis said it. Unless I've got this completely wrong.
In a movie where Elvis shows up in a dream.
Isn't it True Romance?
Oh, yes, of course. Yes.
That's what he says too.
Yeah.
That's one of the other pop stars. In the intro I mentioned, these songs refer over musicians, yeah?
The cartoons are Toonie, Sponge, Shooter, Buzz, Puddy and Boop, and they are from Denmark.
Yeah.
So I think it explains a lot. Do you think Elvis would have enjoyed this record?
I do believe so, yeah.
Okay.
It's a great record, I think. You know, it's annoying. It's very much from it's a cover version. I learned that. That made sense to me. It reminded me of a record the Coasters or one of those R&B groups might have done in the 50s. They'd do silly little songs. And the chords are all a three-chorder, like an R&B record, a rock and roll record. So it's certainly in that tradition.
It was written by Ross Bagdasarian in 1958.
Yeah.
Not released under that name. Do you know what name he used to go by?
No.
David Seville.
I saw David Seville singing a version okay.
Yeah. And who's David Seville?
Created Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yes. So this is before, I think it's just before he comes up with the Chipmunks. He basically had a tape recorder and was titting around with the speed control so he could speed up the bit. So in his version, the ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah, tang-tang, walla-walla, bing-bang is in a high-pitched voice.
Let's demonstrate that. I like the economy of the verses. I told the witch doctor I was in love with you. I told the witch doctor I was in love with you. And then the witch doctor told me what to do. Simple, yeah? So 50s. You can keep your love for me just like you were at Miser. I'll admit I wasn't very smart. So I went to find myself a guy that's so much wiser. And he told me the way to your heart. What did he say? He said, "Don't look at me so bored and annoyed, James."
Ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah, ting-tang, walla-walla, bing-bang. What has this song got in common with the Alfred Hitchcock movie Rear Window?
What?
IMDb rating 8.5.
What the hell are you talking? The video was directed by Alfred Hitchcock. And he liked the sexy Elvis.
It'd be good if Alfred Hitchcock showed up as a cameo in the video. No, Dave Seville is in Rear Window. He's the pianist in Rear Window.
Okay.
He'd also wrote songs for Rosemary Clooney, Dean Martin, and then he has a hit with this, which was a US #1, his original version, and the Chipmunks Christmas song. And after that, he's like the Chipmunks guy. The song has been in both The Muppet Show, performed by Marvin Suggs and the Muppaphone. Are you familiar with what the Muppaphone is?
Please tell me.
They're little creatures, little circular creatures, and Marvin Suggs hits them with a hammer, and they go "ow" in a certain tone and play a tune.
Okay.
And also in The Simpsons, where Homer...
Blimey, all right. Yeah. This is your dream come true, this record.
Is it? Where Homer sings it inside a sensory deprivation tank in the episode Make Room for Lisa, which first aired in February 1999.
All right.
So, it's around.
Prov Toller on YouTube says the guy who wrote this must have snorted a kind of high-quality sugar. That's a good point, isn't it? It's got that feeling.
Particularly this version of it, it just sounds like an overstimulated child.
Absolutely.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It sounds like all the colours, all the noises, all the sensations, all the time, all at once.
I dug it. Nabakama says, so this wasn't just a fever dream from my childhood, so it's got that feeling, hasn't it? Happy Molecule 8894 says, this song makes me feel weird. It's like a combination of when you sit down comfortably and don't want to get up and a feeling of the need to kill someone.
This is the cartoon's second and final UK top 10 hit after Doodah, which is their first. Other songs by the cartoons include Let's Go Childish, Azy Wazy, Diddly Dee, Wobble Dee Bubble Dee Doo, Mama Lou, Big Coconuts, and in 2025, Gettin' Saxy.
There's a sexual energy to the video, I find. You know when we did that Lady Gaga and Beyonce telephone and they're in prison, but it's kind of sexy.
Yeah.
It's a cartoon. I think I'm revealing far too much about my...
We've found your kink, I
So
think.
it's two Elvises, James, that come at me gone weird in my head.
I mean, it's not for me, and if I never have to hear it again, I'm fine with that.
Did you have no... It wasn't for me. I was 30 years old. I'm glad that I can't really remember this record. I like discovering it this week, though. Who was your favourite?
What, of the cartoons?
Robbie Rotten? Sporticus?
No, it's not them. It's not Sporticus in this video.
What do you
They're
mean?
a bit like Sport. They look like Sporticus.
Yeah.
And what was that called? Lazy Town. They do look like Lazy Town, but they're not Lazy Town.
When we like to pride the quiff, we've said it every week, haven't we? Good quiff. We said about Emily Sunday once, so why not say about cartoons?
Because they're not real.
Shut up.
Not real quiffs.
What? We do this phrase every now and again, James, on YouTube. Ziping TV uses it good. 0% alcohol, 0% drugs, 0% fast cars, but 100% ooh-ee-ooh-ah-ah, ting-tang, walla-walla, bing-bang. It's given me a new password. That's what it's done this week.
Number 6.
Up 2 places to number 6. It will peak at number 3. It's No Scrubs by TLC.
Classic.
Yeah. A scrub is a guy who thinks he's fine. He's also known as a buster.
Hanging out at the passenger's side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me.
It's kind of similar to Ain't Nothing Going On But the Rent by Gwen Guthrie. That's a similar thing, isn't it? You've got to have a J.O.B. if you want to get with me.
I was not familiar before this record with the concept of a scrub, yet weirdly, I kind of was one as a comedian.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be hard as we are both essentially scrubs. To talk about a song that's doing us down.
While we're being defensive, Titus Matthews says scrubs might be the ones saving up for future items, cars, clothes, gifts, apartments for their future good girlfriends.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, haven't thought about that. Have you, TLC?
I love this record, James.
Yeah, it's great. I think my favourite version of it is probably the one that Marjorie Dawes does on Shooting Stars.
I've not heard that. Okay. I used to do the Warmth Shooting Stars around this time, along with Jonathan Ross and all that. So maybe I saw Matt Lucas doing it.
Written by future Real Housewives of Atlanta cast member Candy Burruss, who got the idea after talking about some of her ex-boyfriends and using the Atlanta slang scrubs to describe them.
Yeah.
She then got her former bandmate Tamika Cottle to help with the lyrics before taking it to producer Kevin Shakespeare Briggs of LaFace Records, who had a tune ready to go.
I can't play it properly, but it's essentially a 4-chord that goes around something like...
Doesn't go like that.
But it's, essentially that all the way through. So that's an achievement. Sometimes we slag it off, but when it's done with this skill, James, we don't mind it.
So yeah, I mean, after Flatbeat and the Witch Doctor, this was lovely to hear.
Yeah, I agree. I'm Your Mum on YouTube says that this song made me get my shit together. So that's a good sort of a recommendation, isn't it?
In what way? In that they were someone who were with a scrub and they got rid of the scrub, or they were a scrub and they sorted themselves out?
One would imagine, although they are called I'm Your Mum, so who knows?
On the internet, we can be whatever we want, and this is who we've chosen to be.
Tragic, isn't it?
Ridiculous.
Isn't that tragic? We could have been whoever we are. I'm remarkably similar to middle-aged men moaning about cartoons and witch doctors. All right, then. Let's talk about TLC. You had such a good story about honeys.
Yeah.
I'm not comparing like with like because they are the same denomination. I'm going to say early, James. R.I.P. Lisa Left Eye Lopez.
She died in a car crash in Honduras in 2002, 2 weeks after a car she was a passenger in killed a 10-year-old boy. She was not wearing a seatbelt at the time of her death.
One of your petty grudges you have, James. Even if you're a pop star, wear a seatbelt.
TLC, where'd they get that name from?
Do not know.
It is the
Tender loving
initials of their names.
Is it?
Yeah, so it's T-Boz, Left Eye, and Chili.
Right.
Although Chili's actual name is Rosanda Thomas, so it should be TLR. That's a different thing.
This is one of the songs with self-reference, because Lisa Lopez is going about T-Boz and Chili.
Chili is now dating the son from Mrs. Doubtfire.
I knew you were going to say that.
Who we should point out is, a grown man now. So it's fine.
Great words, great tune, great spirits.
Here's the thing about the video that I noticed.
Oh, yeah.
You're thinking, all right, so they've got this song which is about something. It's about this type of bloke and how we don't want you. And you're thinking, well, this is a great opportunity for the video to sort of show that in a visual way while the song's going on.
They choose not to do that.
They choose to just tit around in a spaceship.
It reminded me of Janet and Michael doing Scream, that sort of look. They all look great, though. Come on, it's TLC. All dressed, the fashion is great, although one of them, as people pointed out, has got a Karen hairdo.
But they can. What's a Karen hairdo?
You know, it's that notion of Karen and I don't like that trope. It's sexist.
But you think, well, if you've got the technology to do the spaceship video, why don't you save it for a song that's not about something? Because it just feels like a bit of a wasted opportunity. Here's me nitpicking. Here's me going, TLC, you're doing it wrong. Now who's being a Karen?
Go and speak to the manager.
The song inspires many answer songs.
Does it?
One of which gets to number 16 in the UK, called No Pigeons by Sporty Thieves. To which all the original songwriters are credited because they basically just take the tune and change the words. And that was also produced by Kevin Shakespeare Briggs. It's produced by the same person.
Blimey.
They also did a response to the song Bills, Bills, Bills called Can't Pay Your Bills, and a response to Independent Women with a song called Independent Men.
Right.
They sound like a laugh.
What they're doing, James, is leeching off the great creation of many artists. Hang on, that's what we're doing. My apologies.
Don't draw attention to it. The songwriters also have a credit on Shape of You by Ed Sheeran.
Did they?
Because of the similarities between bits of that song and bits of this song.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't hear that, did you?
It's the hanging on the passenger side of the best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. That bit.
That's right.
There's a similar bit in Shape of You.
All right. Well, again, Ed Sheeran, we don't like to disparage people who influence, do we? Part of the pop tradition. Edgy thieving.
I think it's good. I think it's a good subject for a pop song.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's great, isn't it, James? After let's call it part one of this week's Shooby Dooby Doo up we end. We start with New Radicals. We finish with TLC, and there's some stuff in between.
Yeah, some stuff in between.
Yeah.
Less said about that, the better.
Oh, good.
But we've started on a high, and we've ended on a high in this half anyway. Coming up in part two, a band that are like a pram being pushed down a hill, a Super Trooper grouper, a debut appearance from an old friend, and Debbie McGee's one-time housemate.
Even though we haven't done it yet, what would that sound like?
Sound a little bit like this. Hey, what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
You're looking kind of down to me. It's your first time as a therapist, isn't it?
Together forever. Mr. Grimsdale. That's good, isn't it? That doesn't happen very often. We've never said that before when we're discussing the music. You get sued by your own mama.
Thanks very much for listening.
To part one, please listen to part two.
Yes, and please rate and review and
share, subscribe, follow. Don't be a scrub.
And check out the playlists. The links in the description.
Maybe the most important point. Otherwise, me and James would literally have nothing to bang on about.
And until next time, Shooby Dooby Doo up.
Bop bop shoe up.
What does it mean to live a rich life? It means brave first leaps, tearful goodbyes, and everything in between. With over 100 years' experience navigating the ups and downs of the market and of life, your Edward Jones financial advisor will be there to help you move ahead with confidence. Because with all you've done to find your rich, we'll do all we can to help you keep enjoying it. Edward Jones, member SIPC.